Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So this is second video on Vue 3 Composition API, Bootstrap 5, JSON server, CRUD sample. So in this demo, we will do read operation. Now to implement the read operation, I'm going to consume our fake JSON server. Okay. So first, let's create a page level component. So we know views folder contain page level components. So inside of it, let's create folder like wonders. Okay. And now let's create a component like all wonders. The main idea is that component should display all the collection of data from my API response. Okay. So let me create new component like all wonders. Here one convention is that our component name must start with capital. Okay, let's add our three elements: script, template, style. To use composition API, add setup attribute. Okay, now in the template, let's add a simple message. Okay, I am all wonders component. Now let's configure route for this page level component. So to configure the routing, we have routes folder. In that we have a index.js. Okay. Here is a default routing configuration. Now let's change it. So let me remove the second one. Okay. So this is the home path and defined like home. Okay. This is just optional. And here we have to map the specified component that we want to load for the route. Okay. So here predefined route component for home path is home view. So let me remove this home view. Okay. So what I will do, I will just change it. So let's import all wonders. Okay, which is my new component. Now map this all wonders to component. So here I specified I want to load the all wonders for home path. So let's run and check. So we know the command is npm run dev. Our view server is up. Let's copy this local URL, access in browser. Okay, here I am missing ending quote. Okay, let's add it and save. Now check. Okay, here for home path, I am able to load my new component. So let's run our JSON server as well. So we can use another terminal to run JSON server. So command is like npm run JSON. I think it is run. Is the command run. So it is also up and running. Let's access this API in another browser tab. Now we have to consume this API and render it on our UI. So to consume API in Vue.js application, we need to install one package that is Axios. Okay. So open one more terminal. So enter command like npm space I Axios. It is a third-party library for calling APIs. Okay, now I installed Axios. Okay, here we have to make a call to the API. So we can use Axios. Okay. So to use Axios, I have to import it namespace as well. Okay. So now I can use Axios library. This is a get endpoint, right? So dot get method we have to use. And here we have to pass the URL. Copy our API URL, add it here, okay? And then we have to listen for the response. So I can use then, okay? Okay, so I will get response.data. So for time being, let's log the response to console. Okay, but if you observe Axios call, I am directly implemented in the script, but we should not do like this. Any API call that needs to be triggered automatically on page load, we have to use on-mounted lifecycle. Okay, on-mounted. Okay, that is loading from view. So it will take arrow function as input. So I can paste this entire code inside of it. All right. Now let's check whether API is invoking and it is successful or not. Okay, inspect element, go to network tab and go to XHR, reload the page and go back to network calls. Here you can see our API get endpoint invoked and I am getting data also. And that data I am successfully logged to browser console. All right. Now I have to bind that data to my UI, right? So here I am getting collection of data like 2 items. So I want to display them on Bootstrap cards. Okay. So let's go to Bootstrap website, go to docs and search for cards component. Okay. And let's go to bottom. I want this style of cards. Okay. So let me copy this HTML. Okay. Let's remove our test message and let me add a container. Okay. Inside of it, add our cards HTML. So by default, there are duplicate cards here. We required only one because based on our API payload collection count, we are going to loop the code. Dynamically, we generate the HTML. Okay. So let's remove duplicates. Okay. Now I have only single code. Now I want to loop this code based on the collection from the API. First, we have to store the API response to some variable. Okay. So I will create a variable like all wonders. And I cannot use a normal variable to assign the data because once I assign this data here, okay, on change of the data inside of this variable, my HTML should be re-rendered. Normal variable cannot detect the change. So our variable must be some reactive type variable. Means immediately it will act per change in data. Okay. So I can use one kind of type like ref. Okay. So now any change in this variable and this variable used in HTML, then content will be refreshed automatically. Okay. So here ref must loads from view library. Okay. Import the ref. So inside of the ref, I have given empty array because I want initially this collection will be empty. From API, I am getting collection, right? So initial data I am assigned as empty here. Now what I can do, I can assign this response.data to my all wonders variable. Okay. So all wonders variable, and we cannot directly assign data for a ref variable. To assign a data for a ref variable in the script tag, we have to use dot value. Okay. So response dot data. Now hello wonders variable will contain the API response. So now I can loop it over the HTML. Okay. So in view to loop any HTML, I can use defer directive. Okay. Default Vue.js directive. Okay. So now I can use my all wonders variable. Okay. So each item should be iterated, right? So I can use a normal local variable like empty, any name you can give, and in you have to apply. So this is our collection. So on every iteration, okay, the object will be assigned to item. So item will be act as a current object from the loop for every iteration. Okay. First let's test. Since I have two collections right from API response, now I must see two cards in the UI. See, I am getting two cards. Okay, because I am looping here. Now let's bind our data to those cards. Okay, so here for the image tag, I can bind my image URL property. So if you observe the API response, these are the properties: ID, name, location, image URL. I must bind them here. Okay. So here I can bind it like so. SRC now it should be a dynamic data I am binding, right? So whenever any attribute, if you want to bind dynamic data, then attribute must prefixed with colon. That means its value must be dynamic. So I can use item variable dot image URL. Okay. And title I am going to give my name property. Okay. So item dot name, and in the paragraph I want to specify the location. Okay. So in any HTML element, if you want to render our content, we have to use double flower brackets. Okay. So inside of this double flower brackets, I can pass any dynamic expression. So here I can pass item dot location. Okay. Let's check. Okay. Our content is rendering, right? So, but these are little bit big, right? Chords. So let's try to reduce them. Okay, I think I can made these columns to MD3, means at most three columns. Let's check. Yeah, somewhat better now. So this is how we have to do read operation in Vue.js. Okay. So here what we have done, we created component, new component, and we added route for that component. So that component act as a page level component. And in on-mounted lifecycle method, which that method gets automatically executed, right? In that method, we are calling API. Once we got the API response, we are looping it over HTML. Okay. So in the next video, we are going to implement the create operation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video delivered some useful content to you all. If you like the video, please support me by subscribing to my channel and don't forget to like and share the video. Soon we are going to meet with new content. Until then, signing off.